Okay, so in this video I want to take an up-close look at the Osmo and the accessories that you're going to need that don't come with it initially, that you're going to need to have a fun day of shooting, or at least what I use that makes it easy and makes it the way it should be and the way you want it to be. So I have it. First thing is the tripod. It's a must-have. You can use the tripod as a handle, which you know, is a good thing, but you kind of got to have the tripod. Let me get this set up here. This is a Polar Pro tripod, and they say you can put a DSLR on it, and it will hold a DSLR, but it does flex, and I'm pushing pretty hard on it. But for the Osmo, this thing is, you know, it's going to be great. So you need that. And for me, I definitely needed a case to carry the stuff in. I had a Polar Pro case called the Minimalist, and it was too minimalist for me. It just was like just a little bit too small. So let's get this stuff out here. So you got the Osmo, got that. Let's close this up. We also have the tripod, and the other thing that you're going to need if you want to have nice cinematic footage, and that is you're going to need, and forgive me for not having it ready and kind of tucked away here, but you are going to need some filters. You're gonna want to have some nice. These are Polar Pro, and they're. I mean, actually, my next set I'm going to try the Tiffins, but right now I have the Polar Pro. They seem to be, you know, pretty decent. I do have a little bit of tinting issue with some of them, not all of them. Anyway, there's what you're going to need to have a good day of shooting. And if you really want to add to that good day, a power bank, and I carry a small power bank with me. I've actually had this thing for a long time. It isn't like I ran out and bought this just for this kit. So what I really want to talk about is, and there's this accessory here you see in the background. Now this accessory right here, I have never really used it, and I'll talk about it in a minute and show you what it is and what it does. So the Osmo comes in this nice little, and let me focus on this, make sure I'm getting this good. It comes in this nice little case. It's very hard. It's got a nice thick rubber strap here, and see if we can get it out of here. Now let's focus on this guy. I got my monitor off screen and I'm trying to focus and do things here. So let's turn this guy on. When you turn him on, he runs through his gimbal check and he's ready to go. And it's that quick and that easy. Now I'm not going to go through in this video anything about the screen. I did another video about that. But you do have this little adapter here. And let's first shut it off. Notice when you shut it off, it goes right back to the position that it needs to be to go back in to its little home, which I think is great. They thought that through. This is USB-C. This actually comes with it, and see if it'll go in here. This will now connect your phone directly to it. You do have to be careful. You got your phone connected to this, you can bend it, you can break it, you can damage the jack, the port in your phone. So you might want to get an additional, and I don't have one because I really don't connect to the phone directly to it that much. I mostly use Wi-Fi, and that's what I wanted to actually kind of talk about the most in this video, is about the Wi-Fi, because a lot of people have they just don't kind of understand. Novice people, put it that way. I've had some real beginners that seen this thing and they picked it up and then they couldn't understand why it wouldn't connect Wi-Fi, because you need a Wi-Fi adapter. That's all this thing is. It looks like a base plate, but it is actually a Wi-Fi adapter and a base plate. So it goes in. You now have a charging port back here so that you can connect your battery pack if you're doing long hyperlapses or something, you know, like that, or you just want to charge. So now you can connect wirelessly and you can set this thing up. My surface is a little uneven here, so it wants to wobble around, but it is actually nice and flat. But now there's no way to put it on the tripod. And this again was another confusing thing for a couple of friends of mine who were like, I have the Wi-Fi adapter. Well, now you need this. This has a 1/4-20 on the bottom of it, and it has a little window right here. So we're gonna slide that through there, and now you can connect it. It's just another accessory that you have to buy. You know, makes Polar Pro money. That's their accessory, and it just, all of this should be incorporated right into the unit. To incorporate all of this into the unit, first off, the Wi-Fi should be inside of the unit. You shouldn't even have to have an adapter. And I could understand sliding it onto a 1/4-20 thing. They're trying to save space for the battery and stuff like that. But anyway, with that said, that's what you're going to need to then connect it to a tripod. So now we also have this thumb wheel. And I kind of regret jumping the gun and buying this thumb wheel, because quite honestly, I've owned this Osmo now for a month and a half, and I've only used this a few times. This will allow you to make sure I'm focused here. I want to be focused good and crisp on this. This allows you to go up and down, obviously, but you have to flip a little switch right here, and then you can go left and right. And you know, you can flip this guy around. So it's great if you, but now the only thing you're going to have is the screen. I don't know, and I guess maybe it connects wirelessly. I'm not sure on that. If it does, let's see if the wireless, yeah, the wireless is on, but I don't know. I just haven't used this accessory that much. Maybe other people would use it, but I just haven't used it that much. Let's see. I want to get it to, there we go. So turn this guy off. This, I would say, is not really a must-have, at least for me. It's nice though to have it when you need it. That part of it is nice. So now let's go on to this one here. And this item here, again, is another Polar Pro thing. And again, I'm not really knocking Polar Pro at all. They make great stuff. I have not actually put this in here yet. I'm doing it now for the very first time. Let's see. I guess you got to take, I haven't had a need for it, because if I put it in here, there's how it would go in. This is actually the very first time I'm doing this. That clamps in the back. You can still put your, and what this is for mounting it onto a tripod, of course. You got a 1/4-20 here, and you have a 1/4-20 here. But now there's no way to access your wireless. Unless maybe you run a cable from here to there. It just doesn't, I don't know. It just, so this, you're seeing it for the first time. I'll keep this thing. Maybe someday I'll use it for something, but see, Seems to be nicely made, as all Polar Pro products are. You got to take that off. So that's kind of a very up close look for anybody who, you know, is thinking about get focused back on this. I'm sorry if my focus keeps wandering here. The light is kind of dimming. Actually, let me see if we can get the light. I'm losing the light of the day, so to speak. Big cloud bank came in. So that's how it looks. It fits back in the case with its little adapter. And if you just want to show that you can also put the adapter this way, so that if you want to have it ready to connect to your phone. I love it. I really do. I love it. So I would say this accessory, these two accessories, this, very pricey, but I went ahead and bought it. I don't know, I just shouldn't have bought it, but I have it. Tripod, definitely. Now, the filters. The filters, if you want cinematic footage, obviously are must-have. And let's get refocused here. I'm going to go a little brighter on my ISO because the storm is approaching. So let's look at the filters here. I have a number 4 ND on there right now. And they're magnetic. They pop on and off magnetically. So you just like, it'll sit there and slide right into place. I think that's a pretty cool thing, seeing they're so small, kind of delicate. They're not as delicate as you think, really. They got a really nice coating on them, so they don't scratch that easy. The case is also magnetic, which is kind of a hindrance and sometimes kind of a good thing. See how that guy just stands right up? It's kept me a few times from dropping the filters in places where I probably would have never found them, out in the forest with the leaves, or, you know, next to the creek. But at the same time, there's been a few times where I've tried to put the filter back and I thought I had it back in and it just stuck on there. Sometimes, you know, you're trying to take one out and put another one in and it'll stick up here on the top. So you just kind of never know what that's going to do. Unlike my Mavic 2 Pro filters, where you can't see the marking because the marking is underneath the rubber, on this they actually did a good job and you can see the markings for each one. So I have a 64, a 32, and then I have a 64, 32 of the regular ND. These are polarizers. And then I have an 8, a 16, and a 4. That kind of covers pretty much everything you need. So, I know it's kind of a long video, but I wanted to get... My videos are very rarely short anyway, because I like to talk about something that I bought and paid for with my own money, and I like to kind of just really explain in detail how I use it. So, and just to show you real quick the other things that I keep inside of here, obviously the charging cable that came with the little guy, and I have a USB-C so that I can, if I need an additional cable that's, you know, the micro, I can change it. I have it on a braided thing so I don't lose it. And then I have the memory card, and it actually takes the micro SD. And one of the things that I did want to show that I thought was really nice is that you are able, and I'll focus on this so that we can get a good focus on this. You are able to take your SD out and return it back without taking the Osmo out of its little case. So it's really nice to be able to just, you want to pop it out and download your footage. I recommend a 64. Let me see if I can focus on that. It's not going to let me focus. So I recommend a 64. I think that's a good size. I can shoot a decent amount of 4K. If you're going to be out all day, you might want to have a couple of these with you. I carry a wireless 1 terabyte hard drive anyway, because I'm always constantly putting other stuff from other cameras. But if you're just doing this as a standalone and you're going for the whole day and you're shooting 4K, I would recommend maybe 2 of these. I've seen these now, check the link out down below. I've seen these for $15.